And we're back, guys. Welcome to the channel. I am your host, Good Energy. Before you do anything else, please hit the like button. Show some love, guys. Takes a lot of time to do these videos. Please, all I ask is that you hit the like button, show some love, even if you don't like the content. If you clicked on it, just show some love, right? The name of the channel is Good Energy. Now we're going to take a look at the Super Bowl matchup. Look, I'll be honest with you guys. You know I primarily watch tennis. This year I have not really followed football. That's just being 100%. I like basketball too. I'm not even following basketball that much because tennis has just been so exciting. And the reality is, I mean, even a year ago, I wasn't doing that many tennis videos. I would do a draw and then I would do a daily recap. So I was literally only doing maybe 1 to 2 videos a day. Lately, I've been doing 10 tennis videos a day. So a lot of that focus has me preoccupied where I'm not watching as much football or basketball. I can remember a time with basketball where I won 28 picks in a row, gave them out all free online. And basketball I had pretty figured out, but the thing about basketball is it changes so much. And you know, there's been a lot of talk about, like Donovan Mitchell talked about the basketball script, and I'll be honest with you, basketball it's a volatile sport. It changes as well as football, but we're gonna give you a prediction here, and I'll be honest with you guys, this line here, it says it's going to be a close game, right? And we're going to take a look at some of the stats before we get into the prediction. Oh, and yes, by the way, the 28 free basketball picks that I gave out of the 28 of them, I'd say maybe 22 of them were underdogs. So they were all underdogs. But that stuff takes a lot of time. You literally have no life. You have to literally crunch numbers all day, numerology, look up players. That stuff is a headache, trust me. But let's look at the numbers here, guys, about the Super Bowl. All right, so the Super Bowl is the biggest wagered event in the world, right? 1 out of every 5 adults will place a wager on the Super Bowl, and it's going to generate about $16 billion in wagers. 15 million of that will directly come from people walking into a casino placing a wager. Now, with everything being online, it's a lot easier, more convenient to place a wager. Now, that's good and bad, because someone that looks at lines and numbers a lot, I can tell you that the entire industry has changed. Literally, it's changing every day, but it's changed the most the last 6 months. Trust me, the last 6 months, this industry has changed. Even for tennis, before I would do a lot of the prediction videos, I do them early in the morning for the matches that would start late at night, or I would do them the night before or 2 days before. The reality here is now I've seen the industry change more in the last 6 months than it's probably changed in the last 20 years. And why is that? Now, when the line makers release a line, the objective is to gain a fair amount of action on both sides, right? So if you have 2 teams, they would like to get as much vig on both of those teams so the house can make a profit. But nowadays, this is my opinion, okay? This is only my opinion, so take it with a grain of salt. But I feel that the advertisers and the bookmakers, they're getting so much revenue from sponsors and endorsements that I don't think they care about the VIG anymore, because the industry now, it's global, right? They're making so much revenue from third-party sources that I don't think the VIG even exists anymore. I don't think they really care about getting a fair amount of wagers on both sides. Again, that's my opinion. And why? Because just looking at everything the last 6 months, the lines that they're releasing, and I'm just talking about just the last few months to 3 to 6 months, the lines that are released now, they're garbage lines. I don't think they're real lines, and this is just from someone that has been looking at the numbers and studying this. What do I mean by that? I mean, you look at any match nowadays, especially tennis, the line's changing 30 times before the match starts. It's changing 30 times. Like, how's that possible? It's changing 30 times globally, right? So I just think that now for the people that understand this stuff, they understand what's going on. And look, they're not going to say too much. They're not going to talk too much about it. But I just think that with advertisements, endorsements, I think the bookies make so much money that way that I don't think they need a fair amount of wagers on both sides to really make a profit. I don't think they really care about that. I think their goal is to just get a long-time customer that's just going to make bad decisions. So therefore, though, and that's why I say it all the time. If I don't release a prediction video, chances are I'm just not interested in the line, or I could be busy. I have other things to do as well. But the reality here is, if you want to win over the long run, you got to be patient. You have to wait for the right opportunity, and then you pound it. That's why I've had so many successful win streaks. Now, the reality is, do I win every match? I don't, because you're playing against an algorithm. You're playing against a computer. So I'm not going to win every match. That's just logic. But if I'm making pick videos and I'm making 10 of them and 7 to 8 of them are constantly winning, then look, you got to appreciate that. And all I ask for you is to like the video. But let's get into some of the numbers here for this Super Bowl matchup. Jalen Hurts, Oklahoma. Look, I followed his career in college. Great dual threat quarterback. What are you going to do? You're going to drop back, you're going to blitz him or play it safe. Pick your poison, because he can beat you each way, right? Very fast, strong arm, very high IQ. But really quick story. They got rid of Carson Wentz, right? I think Carson was holding him back. I think, even the Nick Foles controversy with Carson Wentz, you need a number one guy, right? The team needs to know who the leader is moving forward, right? It just removes any confusion and doubt, and it gives you the ability to give your all behind the staff that you have ready to play, right? But hey, quick story. In 2016, going into 17, I happened to get wind of a manufacturer that was producing hundreds of thousands of Philadelphia Eagles calendars. Now, if you guys are familiar with the manufacturing business, it takes months and months to produce products. It doesn't just happen overnight, right? So I got wind of a manufacturer producing tons of memorabilia for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm saying to myself, why are they producing all this stuff for the Eagles? The Eagles are projected to not even make the playoffs. They're not even a good team. Who's going to be buying all this stuff for the Eagles? Well, it would just so happen that they would go on and win the Super Bowl. So, there's no coincidences, guys. Nothing is a coincidence. I'm just going to keep it at that. I'm not going to say too much, because I have people already telling me that I need to shut up. But the reality here is, Jalen Hurts, right? Great quarterback. Now, he's going to be taking on someone from the opposite side of the field here, Patrick Mahomes, who is regarded as this generation's best quarterback, this generation's Joe Montana, this generation's Tom Brady, if you will, right? He's done. So the passing of the torch has happened, right? Brady is done. He's retiring. It's a shame his career had to end with his wife, bickering. Come on, guy. The guy's one of the greatest athletes of all time. Can you let the man play football, for crying out loud? Women nowadays, I tell you, and even my lady, she's telling me I'm on the computer too much, which, she's probably right. So that's why I'm trying to reduce the computer time, guys. Been on the computer a little bit too much. But Patrick Mahomes, listen, guys, the entire world's on Philadelphia, right? And can Philadelphia win this match? Of course they can. Of course they can. They're an explosive team. They're great. They have a ton of great wins on the season. But I also want people to think of it this way. Put the Kansas City Chiefs in the NFC East, which used to be the NFC least, right? Put the Chiefs in that division. Would they go undefeated in that division? Probably would, right? Give the Chiefs the Eagles schedule. How would they do? Right? The Jets, the Browns, the Lions, the Vikings, Washington a couple times, the Giants a couple times, the Giants 3 times a season, the Jaguars, the Cardinals. Listen, the reality here is, put the Chiefs in the NFC East and they would look 10 times better than they are now. I think people should ask themselves, who's the better team out of these two? Who is the better team? I think, actually, let's back up a little bit. let's go back to last year. Who's the better team last year? Philly or the Chiefs? I think everyone, 10 out of 10 people will say the Chiefs. Now this year, who's the better team? You can make an argument. If you ask 10 people who's a better team, I'd probably say still 6 to 7 people would probably say the Chiefs are the better team. Yes, Philly's having a good season. Look, they are scoring a ton of points. They are putting up some amazing numbers. Actually, let's take a look at those numbers right quick. Scary how these things play out, right? Nearly the same record from 17 to 22. Now they're putting up 28.7 points per game, yards per game, 384. Very, very scary, right? So a lot of people, the entire world is on the Philadelphia Eagles in this spot. But if we take a look at the Kansas City Chiefs and what they're doing, they're putting up 29 points per game, right? They're allowing 20. We know that Philly has an amazing defense, right? And you can't underestimate that. But then again, if Kansas City played it in the NFC lease, I mean, look, they would probably average 40 points per game, and they definitely wouldn't be giving up 20 points per game because their best defense is their offense, right? Keeping their opponent's defense on the field, tiring them out late in the games is just going to get lopsided. The Chiefs have the better passing attack. I do think Philadelphia has the better receivers. I think they have the better rushing game, and a lot of that could be contributed to the mix of their pass and rush. I do think Philly could be a much better and more explosive passing team, but a lot of that revolves around them dedicating so much attention to their run game, which is amazing. I do think the Eagles have the better rush game, and I think they have the better defense. However, in terms of overall better team, you have to factor in the coach and the coaching schemes. I think Cincinnati's experience, and I think they have the much better coaching staff. This is not a season. This is not a best of 7 game series. This is a 1 game winner take all. And when you're factoring that, it's going to be tough to pass up on the Kansas City Chiefs. I think, look, the Chiefs, they're going to get 30 points. If you want to beat the Chiefs, you're going to have to score 31. So can Philly score 31? That's going to be tough. I think they can, but the Chiefs, it doesn't matter who they play, they're going to get 30 points. This is a matchup here where, I'll be honest with you, this is not a numeric lock, but you can't pass up on the Chiefs being the underdog. I think they're better coached, and I do think they're the better team. Even though the Eagles are having a good season, I think the Chiefs are the better team. I would have to take the Chiefs. So I'm going to give you a couple picks here. Now, in terms of the total, I can see the first half being kind of low scoring. I think the third quarter, the total's 10.5. I think the third quarter goes over. So, I mean, I could even see Philadelphia coming out explosive the first half, and Kansas City's going to have to come out guns blazing the third and fourth quarter. So I can see a fast start from Philly, and I can see a slow start from the Chiefs. I could see the first half going under. I could see the third quarter, definitely. I would say the third quarter goes over the total of 10. If you can get it at 10, that's great, but I see the third quarter going over 10.5. The pick on the match, to be honest with you, my personal pick, I'm taking the Chiefs plus 4.5 on the game spread. That's minus 195. I do think the Kansas City Chiefs will win the Super Bowl. I think you're going to have to outscore the Chiefs. It doesn't matter who the Chiefs play. They're consistent. It doesn't matter who they have lining up. I do think the Eagles have the better roster on paper. But look, all this talk about Mahomes' ankle, listen, guys. They're going to shoot him up with so much, what's that? I forgot that shot that the professionals take, whatever it is. They're going to shoot him up with so much of that. He's not going to feel anything. And listen, guys, the reality here is He played last time out against Cincinnati. He was probably 70%. He's had 2 weeks to heal. He's got the best treatment in the world. This isn't the WTA tour where they call out some physio that has a backpack with bandages and spray. He's got the best treatment in the world. Patrick Mahomes' salary is more than the revenue the entire WTA tour makes in the season. Okay, this is the big leagues. This is the big time. Okay, they're going to have him filling, if not 100%, he's definitely going to be in his 90s. He's going to be very close. He's not going to feel any pain. He's not going to be limited. He's going to be fine. So all this news media talk about him being injured, that is a joke. 2 weeks to heal for a professional athlete that has the best nutrients, the best technology, the best treatment. Look, I tore my Achilles and I came back to play in 3 months, so I don't want to hear about his ankle. He's fine. That's media hype. I think it's garbage. Just another way to sway fans to Philly. Can Philly win the Super Bowl? They absolutely can, but my pick is the Chiefs plus 4.5, minus 195. That's my pick, and I do think the Chiefs will win the Super Bowl on the money line, and you can even get them at plus 1.5 for minus 110, depending on where you look. I think the Chiefs are just I just think they're the better team now. Look, these Cinderella stories, they do happen, and Philly's having an amazing year. But if we just look at consistency, coaching staff, I mean, you got Patrick Mahomes. I think he's the future quarterback of the NFL. And these professional organizations are always better when there's one face on the poster. And I think it's going to be Patrick Mahomes. So my pick is Kansas City Chiefs plus 4.5. That's minus 195. I think that the Chiefs plus 1.5 at minus 110 is also a good pick. And I think the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. So those are the 3 picks there, guys. This is good energy. Enjoy. Look, I'll be honest with you. I got to tell the truth. I am a Philly fan. I don't really like Kansas City. I'm a Philly fan. So I would be happy if the Chiefs won. I've been a long time Philly fan. I like Randall Cunningham, all those old school quarterbacks. I think he created the blueprint for, run pass quarterbacks. So I would be happy if Philly wins, but those are the picks there. Thanks for listening to the channel, guys. Please hit the like button. My lady's telling me to get off the computer. I've been on the computer way too much so far this year. But overall, look, the picks win, guys. I've given you a lot of picks this year, and look, they're winning at 80%. And look, they might not be the underdogs every match like I was doing last year, but it's all about winning, guys. It's all about a good balance of winning, and as long as you're not losing, that's the overall point. This is good energy. Like the video, hit the super thanks, donate to the channel. My girl's telling me to get off the computer. I've been on the computer way too much, so I'm gonna take a break. I'll see you guys soon.